Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for DC League of Super Pets, which stars Dwayne Johnson as Krypto the Superdog. The movie opens up with the destruction of Krypton as Jor-El sends his son Kal-El to Earth. We've seen it several times before in movies. It's as pointless as watching the pearls fall after Martha Wayne gets shot. But this time around, we have Krypto the Superdog, who doesn't want to see young Kal-El leave, so he jumps into the pod with Kal-El, and the two of them head off to Earth and live the life as Superman and Superdog. Unfortunately, Superman has been kidnapped by an evil guinea pig, voiced by Kate McKinnon, who was experimented on by Lex Luthor, so she becomes super intelligent, and it's up to Krypto to try to save his master. And along the way, he comes across some other animals, including Ace, who is voiced by Kevin Hart. And all these animals have been exposed to orange kryptonite, which gave this little guinea pig Lulu her powers, and it also gave the other animals powers as well. I honestly had no anticipations for this movie going into it. The trailers really didn't wow me. They looked pretty generic, and the animation itself just looked rather cheap at times. And then the movie got early word of mouth, and it was genuinely positive. Some people even claimed it to be right up there with Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, which this ain't no Spider-Verse at all, so if you're anticipating that, don't. I got my hopes up a little better. I'm like, okay, so maybe this movie isn't what I thought it was going to be. And then I saw the movie, and it was pretty much exactly what I was going to expect from it. To cut to the chase, what I was expecting from this movie is just a generic paint-by-numbers animated movie with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart doing the voices for these animals because they're so recognizable and they've done so many movies together. It pretty much is that. It's just so uninspired, so generic, and it's so boring also. I'm not saying it's generic compared to what Illumination makes, because unlike most of Illumination's films, there is some cleverness going into this movie, and it mostly revolves around some of the visual gags. Like the opening of the movie, after Krypton explodes, has a cool reference to the original Superman cover, which I thought was pretty neat. There are some charming moments here and there throughout the movie, and there were points where I certainly chuckled, mainly at the side characters. But honestly, this is a movie that I thought was so forgettable that it slowly started leaving my mind as soon as I started walking out of the theater. Your two leads, Krypto and Ace, are voiced by Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, and they are pretty much playing themselves. Dwayne Johnson does a fine job at Krypto, but he, again, is playing himself. There's no real characterization that he gives Krypto. He just didn't really stand out, which makes me very nervous about Black Adam. I mean, outside of the fact that it's directed by the director of House of Wax and Jungle Cruise, I'm worried that Dwayne Johnson's pretty much going to be playing himself in Black Adam. Now, when it comes to Kevin Hart as Ace, he is playing himself, but it's actually a more toned down version of himself. Kevin Hart isn't screaming, he's not shouting or has a high-pitched voice. He's actually very mellow, very calm. He tries to be the leader of this particular group of animals before they meet Krypto, and I actually grew to like Ace in this movie more than Krypto. There's a backstory that they give Ace in this movie that I thought was actually quite good, and if nothing else, it was a true gut punch. It was the only point in the movie that I thought delivered on some real emotion and stakes at the end. You see why Ace has the attitude that he does, and it's pretty effective. As for the rest of the cast, you have Diego Luna as this crazy squirrel that can shoot lightning. You have Vanessa Bayer as this potbelly pig that can grow and shrink in size. John Krasinski, who had just played Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness, does a pretty decent job at playing Superman. Keanu Reeves does a really good job as Batman, but for me personally, I'm just so sick of hearing all these tired Batman jokes. Like, I miss my parents, I'm moody and brooding all the time, I work alone except with these specific people that I work with time and time again. Like, this movie just doesn't really offer anything new in terms of Batman jokes, and this is just me. I'm very tired of DC falling over to Batman when they can't really do anything else in terms of their comic book movies. Like, we just heard news that Ben Affleck is going to be back in Aquaman 2, and it just really feels like DC is like, oh, let's just slap Batman into something. Come on, guys, do better. Anyway, that tangent aside, Keanu Reeves, with what he was given, actually makes for a funny Batman. Kate McKinnon voices the evil guinea pig Lulu, and I thought she was pretty funny. And then you have Mark Maron, who voices Lex Luthor, which, funny thing, I was watching the whole movie thinking, man, Will Arnett's doing a pretty good job as Lex Luthor, and then the credits rolled and it was Mark Maron. That totally took me by surprise, but also the fact that Mark Maron is in 2 animated movies this year where evil guinea pigs are the villains, that is eerily coincidental. So those are some of the good stuff about it, but the rest of the movie is just so lackluster. The ending is just the generic superhero team up, and it ends similar to Batman vs. Superman. Like, you can seriously see some parallels to Batman vs. Superman, except there's actual color this time around, and it ends on a hopeful note. I don't have much to say about this movie at the end of the day. It just felt very lackluster and uninspired. I don't dislike it at all. I have no strong feelings towards this movie one way or the other, but honestly, I can't recommend this unless you have kids. So I would personally say watch at your own risk. If you have kids, this is very harmless and they'll get a real kick out of it. I imagine if I was younger when I saw this movie, I would like it a lot. But if you don't have kids, there is no reason at all for you to watch this movie. If you have to see it for some reason, just wait for it to come out on HBO Max. You might get a few chuckles here and there, and considering that the animation does look like plastic at points, it's more suited to watch on HBO Max. I don't think this is a bad movie, but it's just so unbelievably mediocre and forgettable that I cannot recommend it at all. And there you go, that's my review for DC League of Super Pets. I hope you enjoyed it, and now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you all for watching my review for DC League of Super Pets. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go check out my Twitch channel, and support me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day, and take care of yourselves.